What's wrong with my mother? The better question is, how did she get that way? And people keep asking me, what do I think happened to cause my mother to be like this? Well, I've been looking at and reading about narcissists and psychopaths a lot since my therapist said that might be the issue with my mom. What I have found is that they say that there's something wrong with their brains, that they have no ability to have sympathy, empathy, to understand the pain they cause other people. One thing that I read that was completely wrong is they said that psychopaths are capable of love and they love their children and whatever else. And that's not true. Their love ability does not exist. My aunt said that the only thing my father really wanted from my mother was for her to love him. And what my mother wanted from my father was to control him, like she controls children. And she used to say, the purpose of having children is to have someone to take care of you. And children are like dogs. As long as you feed them, and give them treats periodically, it doesn't matter how many times you kick them, they will come back. Additionally, she said she didn't have a problem with slavery. She's a black woman. She said she didn't have a problem with slavery. She would just want to be the slave master. And that, I think, is the root of why America is the scariest place, because we have a country full of psychopaths who are allowed to run free because this country was founded on psychopathic principles. Europe emptied their jails and sent the worst of their psychopaths, the people who were completely out of control. They got them and sent them here because there was nothing they could do with them. Now, how did they create those people? They created them through systems of abuse where no matter what certain families did and people did, that they were going to be subjugated and treated like trash. And they had to watch the people they loved and care about be treated like trash and, made to be the servants of the elite rich while they were poor peasants. And they called them peasants. So they sent the broken peasants who had been locked up, they sent them to create a new world because they decided they were strong enough and they would do whatever's necessary to make a life for themselves. And they would give them free rein to do it and allow them to kill and abuse the natives in whatever land they sent them to, Australia or wherever. And those Europeans had been abused for so long that the only ones who really were capable of surviving that abuse had lost all ability to empathize and sympathize. This is my theory, that the people who really had hearts and were loving and giving could not survive. But the ones who were the strongest were able to ignore the feelings of others in order to push through the systems of abuse in Europe. Then they came to America and bred with other people who were the same heartless, cruel people, and they enslaved Africans. And then, through the system of enslavement, the only people who could survive that were either the people who became the codependent supporters of abuse or the abusers. I'm a codependent. I'm the one who was always trying to solve the problems and fix things for my crazy family. And the other people who survived were the people who just didn't have a heart. So we have both. Through enslavement, the Africans who survived were the ones who either became, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, I'll do whatever I need to do to survive. And they were codependent enablers. Or they became like my mother, cold, heartless, Didn't care if you took their child from them. They were just going to make it through for themselves and get everything they could out of the system. So why is my mother the way she is? Why are white, redneck, crazy, racist crackers the way they are? Because they were made through systems of abuse that still exist today. And the only way to survive the abuses in America are to either become codependent enablers or psychopaths. And the ones who are too sensitive to do either one of those go out and become mass murderers. Why does America have more mass murderers than anyone else? I think I just answered your question.